Hello, you're watching Kill 67 Gaming, and it's that time again, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's been around a month, so I guess it's in order for another month in games.
So we've had another month where actually we've done alright games wise. We got to go to Northeast Retro Den, play a few things there, and you got to pick up a few things.
Quite a few things in fact, but I guess it's not obviously a haul this video, but a month in games, so
But there was a haul, and it's up if anyone hasn't seen it so far. But so like games wise, it's been quite a big month.
I think I've played it like a lot more than what I have like usually or in previous months, which I'm actually quite proud of, to be honest. I've completed a few games and everything, got quite a bit of gamer score, just playing like other games there online and stuff. But so yeah, it's been quite a good month for me, at least.
So will we start where we always start, with what we picked for each other last time?
Yes. So what did I choose for you?
Last month for me, you chose The Evil Within.
Yes.
And I did play it, so let's have a look. Well, you picked the right time to get me to play this just before Halloween. But I have to say I found this game quite frustrating. There was a lot of the game where it was like, as you were going through it, it was completely unavoidable deaths. And then like after the event, a little thing came up on the screen saying, yeah, now that you've died, we'll tell you how to avoid that. And I hate that.
So pretty much, unless you knew how to do it beforehand, like you've looked up a guide or you've played through it before, you're not going to know how to avoid it.
Exactly. You can see
Which
this
kind of takes the fun
something
out of a
jumping
horror
through the
game.
window. We'll just take the heat off of that one. The other thing is there's some parts, like you'll notice that I haven't got much ammo here.
Well, to be fair, that's not the worst thing in the horror game, because
that's because I used all my ammo on a bit that was impossible to win at. It was the
you ran out.
It was an infinite spawning bit, but I didn't tell you it was an infinite spawning bit. Again, really frustrating rather than anything else. If it told me it was an infinite spawner, I wouldn't have wasted all my ammo. I would have just run. So I didn't like the trial and error side of this game.
Yeah.
It's probably better on a second playthrough.
Probably better on a second playthrough, and but it must have been somewhat good, because there is a second one, isn't there? So.
Well, there is. I haven't played that one either.
No, but it is on Game Pass, I believe, both of them, to be honest. So.
You take some amount of smashing over the head with a weapon.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's going to be less powerful than a bullet, isn't it? So.
This bothers me as well, because I'd done that so that I would set them both on fire, but no. So yeah, I played this game.
Obviously, you've said quite a few things that were bad about the game, but is there anything that's good about the game?
I mean, the setting's okay. Graphically, it's quite impressive and all the rest of it, but it's like one of my biggest pet hates is
trial and error.
A central game mechanic where it's like, we guarantee you'll die at this part, and then we'll tell you 5 seconds later how you could have avoided it. I hated it. I hated the trial and error and the unavoidable deaths. That's not a good look for any game. But
I guess it could be some people's thing.
Well,
no sense.
I don't know. It didn't work for me.
And it's one of those things where it's like, I think you've obviously got it because of the box and that, but it's always been one of them games where it's thinking, is it any good? Because you typically see like some of the levels and that just up on YouTube and that, like being talked about quite positively in that, or sometimes negatively with
Well,
the mechanics and
like
that.
I said, I think a second playthrough of the game
Yeah.
would be massively enjoyable when you don't have to go through all the crap that it makes you go through the first time.
Which is understandable.
Or just give us a tutorial level right at the start, get it out the way, and don't halfway through every level put an absolutely unavoidable death in it.
Yeah.
That was the bit I didn't get. I didn't complete it.
No.
I did
get that.
There was one level that I got to that I retried over and over again. And
Numerous of times.
I didn't cheat and look at an online guide or anything like that. And I'm not going to. I'm telling you that now. I'm not going to complete it. I'm not going to play the second game.
Whereas the thing, I think what I've seen with you playing it, I think it's one of them games where you might love it and you might hate it. So I think I might have to at least give it a try to see if I enjoy it.
It's there if you want to have a go at it.
Yeah, it's installed and everything, and if I do enjoy it, then potentially the second one I'll play through. That is if I do enjoy it. And it might actually be a better experience as well, the second one. Because there are some games where it is like that.
You never know. I mean, the second one might cut out all the
trial and error.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what I really hated about this game.
So yeah.
But I gave it a go, and I really wanted to like it as well. But
it's just not your thing.
Well, flaws are too big on it.
Yeah.
So what did I ask you to play?
Well, last month you asked me to play a game on the Xbox 360, an exclusive in fact, and that was 99 Nights. Now this is the game that you've asked me to play.
It is, and it's not actually really 100% what I expected it to be.
It's not really an RPG of sorts.
No.
It is just like a mass combat.
It's
anime style.
It's Dynasty Warriors in a fantasy setting, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't gotten a lot of the way through it, I'll be honest with you. Mainly because I did take a big break from it and played other games. Because I believe I failed the mission once, even though I personally believe that I should have completed it. But either way, I've gotten past it, and I've continued a bit on. Yeah,
so you're taking out an orc corporal here, so
yes.
It's got a little bit of the Lord of the Rings about it.
I guess.
Is there any magic or anything like that in it, or is it just sword fighting?
Well, for me it's just sword fighting because my character's a swords person, so... But there is multiple characters which you can choose from, but I'm guessing you'll unlock the next one once you've done Imphy's campaign, so... But yeah, I'm level 4 at the moment, which means I can do more combos and different attacks and stuff. But this is just like one of the many groups in this area which I'm having to take out. But it seems to be quite a lot of them.
Aye, got a nice max combo there of 2772.
Yep.
Although you're not getting very close to it here.
No, probably not.
Central gate open, that must be the next bit.
So off we'll go. Now, when I started, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest with you.
I thought it was going to be an RPG, which I could get massively into and start playing it just pretty much all the time and complete it, because with RPGs such as Persona, that was something which I played non-stop. I pretty much played nothing else apart from that game itself, because I get quite enjoyable at getting so far into the story and I'm like, what's next, and then I continue playing until I complete it, and then that's when I go into my other games. However, with this one it was, as we say, Dynasty Warriors, like with the mass combat.
But that's not a bad thing for you.
It's not a bad thing, just I think, obviously, with the expectations I had going into it, it just obviously wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but all in all, it is still a very good game in my opinion. Obviously I did get stuck on that one bit, I think because I tried to rush through it because there was that many enemies and that, but I'd take at least that one little group out, but it wasn't as little as it's seen on the map. And that is, I think, the one time that I've died in the game. But I think I'm on like level 5 or 6 or something like that of it. But and there's multiple characters, and there might be one that I go back to. Just I obviously have to find the time because it does still seem like one of them massive like timed games.
Yeah.
So
like I say, it wasn't what I expected it to be, but
the art style was what I expected it to be, just not the game mechanics.
Yeah, I still think you quite enjoyed your time with the game though.
It was definitely an enjoyable game, and for a 360 game, it actually did look really good as well. So
some positives there anyway. What else did we play? I'll tell you what I played, which kind of new old school, but now old school.
That makes no sense, but let's go with it.
I played C, the Contra Adventure. So I played this, and it's a bit, I was going to say it's like Contra, but of course we're in Europe. So it's like Probotector. It's hard as nails. But you see, what was my favourite weapon in Probotector? It's my favourite weapon in this one as well. The spread gun.
Because it can kill multiple enemies at once, can't it?
You don't have to
have the best accuracy.
The best aim. And actually, your aim is obviously a little bit more difficult here because you're playing it in fully 3D instead of just playing
3D third person instead of.
Well, although there are sections of this game that is in 2D, although it's all rendered in 3D, it's like that 2.5D thing that they do.
That games love to do.
So it's an oddity, this one, because obviously it is a Contra game, and it is run and gun of a sort, but the 3D just makes it a completely different game.
Well, it's bound to, because in the original Contra or Probotector, you couldn't actually take cover, whereas in this one, because obviously the environments and everything are in 3D, you would be able to, wouldn't you?
Well, so there is that, aye. But there is, like I say, there's the 2D parts, and like things that hark back to the original Probotector game. But yeah, really enjoyed my time playing through this. Although, like I say, it is hard as nails. Might want to try it yourself. It's quite decent. And I think you did. I think we did play all the way through the original Probotector once.
I believe we did
in co-op.
Yeah.
So I played through this one, and as we said there, we love Probotector.
Well, we love just like the side scroll and shoot them.
Exactly, yeah. We love Probotector. I think we've played it on the channel.
Yeah, I think there's a 2-part long play on the channel if you want to go see it. It's one of the older videos, but it's still the same game.
But Probotector had a different name in America.
It was Contra.
It was Contra.
And you weren't robots and robots, it was people, wasn't it?
No, exactly. So this is like, although it's completely different, it's a sequel to Probotector.
Well, in a sense, you're not robots this time.
It's weird because it's kind of like it's the bridge between
both
2D Contra and fully 3D Contra.
Yeah.
Because there is the levels where you've got the where it plays just like 2D Contra. So you've got the left to right
sides
run and gun.
Yeah.
There's also stages on it where it's. Do you know the one where you run into the screen?
Yeah. And
you have to like shoot the doors open or whatever it is. You know the ones in the corridor.
Yeah.
It's got those as well, but then it's got like we saw there, fully 3D levels. So it's like the link between the 2D Contra of the NES and the SNES and Genesis, whatever else it was on, and the fully 3D Contra that of course we didn't get on the PS2 or the PS3 on the PS4. Don't know what happened. What happened to Contra Pro Protector?
Well, to be fair, there's actually been some Contra games released, like on the Xbox One. I believe that was Contra Rogue Corps or something released.
But it's
not that long
re-releases
ago.
of older games because
Yeah.
Rogue Corps was on that was the Genesis screen, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but
Mario Drive
you
Genesis game.
it's been released on Xbox One and PS4. I believe.
But it's not a new game.
Yeah, it's not a new game. I know there's a mobile Contra as well.
I'm going to guess that that's a reimagining of
No,
something.
yeah, it's like it's got the Contra characters and more and stuff, but it's like it's like I'm not recognizing the levels because I haven't played through them all in that, but it is like there is one on mobile for free as well because it's a mobile game, and there is.
But we need another console Pro Protector Contra game.
Well, here's the thing: there is still run and gun games being released from here and there.
I know, but it's not Contra.
Well, they're not Contra, but there's still some good games like stuff like Cuphead and that.
I know, but when you've got that bit of game, that's an anomaly because that's like a side scroller as well. But we need something in the Pro Protector Contra line to come along and.
That's new and not just re-release stuff with.
And it's possible because it's not so long since we got a new Mega Man.
Yeah.
No one thought we were ever going to get that, so you never know. We might have it.
Well, you never know until it gets released or doesn't.
Exactly.
But I think that's enough talking about what games we want to be released
Exactly.
and get onto what we have been playing.
What else did you play?
Well, I thought, you know what, it's October, isn't it? It's getting towards Halloween, so I thought, you know what, I think I should play a horror game. So I thought, right, is there any good ones on Game Pass? And I did find quite a good one in the form of Outlast 2.
Another scary game for Halloween, isn't it?
Yes, this one I'm playing, and it is Outlast 2.
Walking simulator, isn't it?
Pretty much, because you actually don't have any weapons, and your only light source is your camera's night vision, which is limited unless you've got a lot of batteries, which I actually seem to have in my playthrough. I didn't use that many, because there was some areas where it was just pure light in that, because of fires and everything. But this is a school section, which I found some of the scariest out of all of it, because there was like, as you can see, there was only like one or two enemies and everything, whereas like every other corner in the normal bits, there was an enemy that would kill you in one shot. But no, you would always, it was like you do a chapter of the normal one and then you do a school chapter up until the very end. I think there's about 30 sub chapters and 6 main chapters in the game, which I have done all of them. But it's an absolutely brilliant game in my opinion, to be honest with you. Never played the original.
I played a little bit of it. I don't remember being very impressed.
All I know is that in the original, you still only have your camera, but you're in an
cheap jump
asylum, aren't you?
scares. It wasn't scary. It wasn't tense. It was cheap jump scares.
Well, this one was tense at times, but not all. I'll be honest with you. But no.
But plenty of walking simulators.
Definitely.
That was a thing not so long ago. It seems to have died a death though, don't they?
Well, I'll be honest, this game is on Game Pass, and I'd say that if anyone's got the time and Game Pass, it's definitely worth playing through it. I think it took me 10-12 hours or somewhere around that time, just because of all the different levels and that, and deaths.
So tongue-in-cheek there, I actually call this a walking simulator. It's more like a running away simulator, isn't it?
Yes, definitely at times. I have completed through the entire game, and I will be honest, it's an amazing game playing through it. However, the ending's not the best, I'll be honest.
Not worth your 12 hours that you put in it.
The ending itself, no, but the gameplay experience and what it gives you is definitely worth it. For those who do have Game Pass, I would highly recommend it. Definitely one of the good games. However, some of the achievements on it is something else, and I'm not sure how people have gotten them. Because for anyone who's
Lots of Chivo hunters in the world.
well, here's the thing: you have to. Normally, you get like there's enemies which are one shot. You're just on normal difficulty, but you're somewhat harder to see. You have to complete the game on the hardest difficulty without replenishing your camera batteries.
Yeah, it's not to me because I never played the game.
Your
I'm sure
battery,
there's people watching that know what you're talking about.
your batteries run out within a matter of a few minutes if you're using your night vision, which you sometimes have to use. There's ones where you can't even hide in things, which is how you typically get away from people. So I'm not sure how they got that, but no, it's definitely a good game, and I like the ways that you travel in between the school sections, because it's typically you're crawling through like a space where it's like not that like wide enough in a house to get into it, and then also smack bang back into the school, and you're thinking, oh yeah, we'll go again, because that's when the like tension tends to build up a lot, because the corridors are empty. You'll see shadows running past the corridors and everything. Then all of a sudden, bang, there's a monster who isn't an actual thing. But no, the game is really good, and I think it's not. I don't even know if it's that big of a game download, and with it being on Game Pass, I think it's something that, at least if you've got Game Pass, it's something that you need to at least try out. But I haven't actually played the original Outlast. I know that I went on Games with Gold near the beginning.
I seem to remember playing a little bit of it and wasn't impressed.
I mean, it depends, I guess, because some people kind of like games where it's like you don't have anything, you're running away from things, but most of us don't. But I think I should at least try it, considering I really enjoyed the second game. But and who knows, it might be my next month in games.
Yeah, you never know. That was another game you played. What else have I played? Actually, do you know, I've been on a little bit of a retro kick over the last month. And a game that completely different but very similar to the Contra adventure. I played R-Type Delta, which, like Contra Adventure, is the evolution from the 2D sprites to the 3D polygons. See, this is another old school 2D game that was done pseudo 3D, 2.3D, 2.5D actually.
I was about to say 2.3, what's that?
No, it's not 3D, it's 2.5D, because although everything's rendered in 3D and polygons, it plays exactly like 2D R-Type. But that's not a bad thing, because R-Type was a great game. And I mean, you can see here a great variety and number of enemies all over the screen, and dealing with some of them quite well, others not quite so well, but
you're getting through it, aren't you? So,
and because it's a proper old school shmup, there's like loads going on the screen.
Loads going on the screen,
and I got crushed because I just didn't see it. I was looking somewhere else. And it's going to make me go all the way back and do from quite a ways back. But that's R-Type, that's what it always was. What I quite like though is you see how quickly I get kind of up to the same firepower as I had. That was one of the biggest things with the old school 2D R-Type games, was once you died, you lost so much of your firepower that it just made the rest of the game so much more difficult. I mean, to the point where, if I'm honest, on the Mega Drive, I preferred Hellfire to R-Type. There'd be a lot of Mega Drive, or Genesis if they're in America, owners that really don't agree with me for that statement, but because Hellfire didn't take all your firepower away when you died, I probably preferred it. But this one seems to be okay. You can see I've got quite a lot of... Although, my hitbox is probably bigger now because I've got...
a massive thing on the end.
So if Contra was a great reimagining of a 2D franchise, it's not fully 3D. Well, it is fully 3D graphically.
But it's not 3D mechanically.
Yeah, it plays 2.5D.
Which isn't always the worst thing.
But it's just an absolutely awesome game. I don't know how you could do a shmup in fully 3D. It just...
I mean, there's ways that you can do it.
But
it's just...
you end up with Ace Combat, which is a good game, but it's not a shmup.
Yeah, it's more just like an actual shooter itself.
Exactly, but R-Type Delta was brilliant. It's got all the power-ups as you go along.
Which is quite typical in a shmup. to have power switch.
A lot of shmups have got these. You get more powerful weaponry as you go along. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I mentioned that actually I preferred it on the Mega Drive Hellfire. Would love to have seen a Hellfire remake or update, but we never got one. This works though. And it's quite weird. You're watching the gameplay there, you see how much is going on at the screen at once.
But the weapons typically take out most of the things. Especially that laser one, which would ricochet. That's all.
Aye, but you have to get your angles right to fire it and all the rest of it. There's an awful lot for you to think about. I miss that we don't get games like R-Type anymore. But we don't, and it's just... it's what it is, I guess.
Well, I'd say never. You never know in the future.
I mean, we do still get the odd pops up every now and again, but
they're just not regular enough.
There used to be dozens released a week. There just isn't anymore.
There's like one released a year or something like that.
Like, more like that.
And even then, it's not guaranteed to boost up in popularity, so that everyone knows about it.
If there's one a year, and that might be shite.
So then no one knows about it because it's absolutely horrendous. And then you could have that one good one, which everyone then says really good things about, and then everyone knows about it, and everyone wants it, and then it sells out. So even no one can get it after that.
Yeah. But that's where we are with that. So really enjoyed playing through that. Not a massively in-depth game, but you know, lots of fun. What else have you played?
Well, I've kind of done something that you've done as well. I've played a retro game, but mine's not a retro-ish game, with it being a retro game series with upgraded things like 2.5D. I've played an arcade game. I've played Metal Slug 3.
Oh look, you're playing zombies. I actually, looks like you're playing as a zombie.
Well, here's the thing, because I had this on my Xbox since it came out on Gold, I believe, or something, and I've just never played it. But it's always been like such a small game that it's never like took up that much storage, so I've never had to delete it. But I thought, I've never played it, and
Metal Slug games are good.
Yeah, they're meant to be quite good, so I thought I might as well play through it. And
We've got quite a few of them.
Yes, definitely. But I've completed this one through, all the way. But it did take me quite a few continues, I'll be honest with you.
Well, I mean, that's what they've designed to do.
Because they're arcade games.
Arcade games, though.
I think it took me about 50 continues or something like that.
I thought there was only like 5 levels.
There's 4 or 5, but because there's that many enemies on screen which can kill you in one shot, obviously unless you're a zombie, which then you have to be killed by a zombie to die fully. But that's only for the one level. So
I have to say, I love the art style on these old Neo Geo games. SNK really had a very special machine. Nobody could afford it at the time. It cost more than a house.
But no, the art style is quite good. And I have really enjoyed my time playing through the game and everything. But it's been quite a hard thing to go through, I guess, considering most games now are quite easy so that you enjoy the story, whereas this one it's going to be hard because it's an arcade machine, so it doesn't want you...
It's not just as an arcade game. I mean, the games for the Neo Geo as well cost like over £100. So if it's only got 5 levels, they better make it hard so you get your £100 worth.
Yeah, which makes sense. But as a game that went on Games with Gold, I think it's definitely a really good playthrough. And if you've got anything else, it's worth that. Now, I've absolutely enjoyed my playthrough of Metal Slug 3, I'll be honest with you. I didn't go back and play through all the different routes that you could on each different level, I'll be honest. Because in my first full playthrough, I died 50 something times through 5 levels.
I can absolutely believe that. But those SNK games,
yeah.
How brilliant are they?
They're absolutely amazing, I'll be honest with you. I haven't played a lot, obviously I've played like King of Fighters and stuff. And mainly the fighting games, but this is my first real exposure to Metal Slug, if I'm being honest with you.
Metal Slug's a brilliant series.
It's and Metal Slug 3, which I played through obviously, is an absolutely brilliant game. And the fact that I went on Games with Gold and I didn't play it sooner, I think, is just something else, to be honest. I think I probably should have played through it a lot
You should
sooner.
have.
But no, I just all of a sudden thought that it's a game with really positive reviews. It's always talked really highly about. And I just got it sitting there on my Xbox One because it came on Games with Gold from the 360 port. And I think, I've got time here, I might as well play through it. And I did, and I absolutely enjoyed it. But yeah, most of my deaths, I believe, did come from the final level when you're in, I believe, the spaceship and that, and there's the aliens and everything. Because you
It's
would
not
have...
meant to be easy.
Well, they're not meant to be easy. And I believe, obviously, with it being the 360 version, you can customize difficulty so you can make it even harder if you wanted to.
No. You can make it easier. You can't make it any harder.
No, you've got a normal difficulty, which is, I'm guessing, the base one.
No.
And then you've got harder difficulties.
No. See, whatever the hardest difficulty is on the Xbox 360, that was just the standard difficulty on the Neo Geo.
Yeah, well.
I guarantee you.
But you can also customize how many continues you get. So you can have the...
Yeah, you get one.
Well, the default's to giving you 3. But you can go down as little as 1, and then all the way up to free play, which is just as many as you want. Which I used because it was my first time playing through it and everything, and I just wanted to experience the story, see what it was about and everything. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think if I get the chance to play another one through, I definitely will.
I'm sure you will get a chance to play
Probably
another one
will.
through, because we have got lots of Metal Slug games scattered around the
Yeah,
collection.
just on different consoles and everything.
Yeah.
So no, definitely a brilliant game.
Like I said, I've been on a retro kick this last month or so. And this is the grey area. Is it retro? Is it not? PS2 game. I've been playing through Scarface, The World Is Yours. Here we go, driving to, I think this is me going to see a man about a job. There you go, you can see he's highlighted there on the right. So we'll have to have a little talk to him, see what this job is that he's got for me.
So it's a defending mission.
Yeah, basically protect someone. So
Never the best missions.
So he's now outlived his usefulness. So will I shoot him in the head? Because I know what I have to do now, so I don't need him. But I might lose points if I shoot him in the head. Well, I just run him over. There we go.
Oh well, I guess he was in your way.
I don't need him now. I have to say though, I've always loved this game. I think when I first played it, I wasn't really too convinced with the map. And I think it must be like a Miami thing, because I don't like the map so much on Vice City either. But where I do like this much better than GTA, apart from the whole empire building stuff, is the driving's much better. It's not as floaty as it is on even GTA 5. The driving's still a bit floaty, isn't it?
I guess it depends on the car you're in, because some cars, and it also depends on how you've upgraded them, I guess. But
and I also love the film Scarface. I think it's an absolutely brilliant film.
Right, you're leaving them behind.
I'm going to shoot people.
But don't you have to stay in a certain vicinity?
But apparently so, yeah.
Well, there you go.
But it's okay, I'll go back. Right? And if there's anybody there that's threatening them, like there is just behind, let's go. Shoot them both in the face.
You shot them in the kidney.
It's a 2 for 1. There you go. Consider him defended. So this is a game that we got on the PS2.
Did it not come on like Wii and stuff as well, eventually?
Yeah, we've got the Wii version, we've got the PSP version and whatever else. But actually this is the version that I first played when it first came out. This is the game this is the version that I love. And it's a weird one. Like I said, they're a bit like, I don't like the Vice City map. I don't especially like the Scarface map, but I love Scarface. I love the film. I love
Yeah.
everything that goes along with it. And they've got the De Niro likeness on Tony Montana. So I'll overlook a lot of the downsides of it.
Yeah, they said the positives outweigh the negatives for you.
Exactly,
Whereas like other games don't.
I just love being Tony Montana. Like I said, the driving there is better even than the modern Grand Theft Autos. That makes a huge difference. It would be nice to have a better map to drive on, but as well as I love the empire building that you don't get at all in GTA, but you do kind of get in this game and in the Godfather games, which I also love. I haven't completed it again, but I will keep playing it. Love this game, and it's been long enough since I played it last that I'm
It's
coming at
a
it,
fresh game.
and it's like playing it new again. And even though the visuals don't stand up to modern standards,
Yeah, they're outdated compared to 4K.
The game is still better than
Well, here's the thing.
most things that come out today.
Most games on retro consoles tend to have better stories than half the games that are on current consoles, mainly because I think...
Well, you say that, yeah.
No, I'm saying that, but for one reason. There's quite a lot of games on current consoles which are just primarily online games and just there to get your money.
Yeah.
So, realistically...
The rest of that, but retro consoles had loads of crap on them as well.
Well,
I mean, look at something like the Wii, and like probably between 80 and 85% of the library on that console was just pure shovelware. The PS2, for all it was a brilliant console, there's a high percentage of shovelware on that as well.
Yeah, and I get
but
that.
there is some real good games on them.
But the good games typically tend to have some good, better storylines than some of the games that are on current consoles.
That's completely subjective. But I love my time with Scarface so far. I am going to keep playing it because it's a game that I've always loved and haven't played it for a while. So by hook or by crook, I'm going to get to the end of it.
So could we potentially be seeing this as a returning game
Probably.
on the monthly games, like some of your other picks, like Mafia?
Edition, probably, aye.
Well, there you go. So that shows that you really do enjoy the game as much as you say you do. And I believe my final game for this video is a really like a new release. Went on Game Pass on day one and everything, and I absolutely have loved it. It is Back 4 Blood.
So that's dropped on Game Pass.
Day one
of
release. Yeah. It is literally Left 4 Dead 3. So
it's not as Back 4 Blood.
Well, it's called Back 4 Blood, but it is pretty much Left 4 Dead 3. It's the same mechanics, same team-based zombie mass shooter and that, with the different versions.
And you did like the Left 4 Dead games. You played through them both on Steam, didn't you?
I played through them both on Steam, and then I remember starting to play through 2 on the 360 version, but on an Xbox One because it's backwards compatible, both of them. But yeah, so this is the Baron Blitz level in Act 1, around midway through.
They don't take a lot of killing these zombies, but there is an awful lot of them.
There is an awful lot, and then you've got the different ones, like the tall boys who've got massive arms, so they do massive damage and also knock you back. You've got the exploders who can come in different variations, such as the Riga, which means that you've got guts on you, so then the horde will come after you and everything. But you've also got like a card element to the game where it gives you different perks and stuff. It's like extra running speed, stamina, health.
See, you say cards and I hear microtransactions.
There's not such a thing as microtransactions in this, though.
That's all right.
So you complete levels and you get supply points, and with them you complete your supply lines, and that's how you get your cards. Either that, or you can play solo campaign, which gives you all of them. However, you don't unlock achievements in it. But I think you can also get them through getting them in levels and doing like random challenges and stuff. But there is absolutely no microtransactions
You seem to be able to set them on fire there as well, I noticed.
Yeah, it's protecting the jukebox, as that is my primary concern, to get the buses all loaded up full of survivors. But here comes a tall boy. Now, as I said there, it is pretty much Left 4 Dead 3, just with a different title, obviously. It's got the same mechanics of, well, you've got a mass zombies coming at you, and you've got the 4 characters. Well, technically 8 actually, but you can only have 4 on your team at once, because once you've completed the first set of missions of Act 1, you get an extra 4, and I think the fact that there's also some strategy elements into it, whereas choosing your character gives the team different buffs and everything. Like Doc can heal people without having to have an actual healing item, but can only do it once a mission. I believe Carly gives the team less speed on their uses, so like you can use stuff quicker. I think one of them gives you extra stamina and stuff, and then you've got your card decks yourself and everything, where you can do pretty much the same, but it's only for yourself. But some do actually have team elements in it. I think it's just an absolutely brilliant game, and it's actually another one which I've fully completed in a month.
It's good to watch. Being an FPS, I don't think I'm ever going to play it. And I knew that you were going to love it because of how much you loved
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah.
But how does it compare to those original games? I mean, obviously, graphically it looks much better.
Graphically, it's much better than the originals, but
when you're playing it, I mean, does it?
The mechanics, for me personally, feel near identical. I'll be honest with you. Like the shooting elements and the crosshairs and everything feel near identical Left 4 Dead. I think the only real difference, obviously, is the story and the characters, which over the 2 Left 4 Deads, they changed as well. You had 4 different characters in both games, both with really enjoyable and lovable characters with really good story. And I think this game carries on that very well, in my opinion at least. And for it to be on Game Pass day 1 is an absolutely amazing thing.
It is. The problem is that somewhere down the road we're going to have to buy all these games that we've got on Game Pass physically, otherwise we'll lose them forever. But
which, to be fair, isn't actually a bad thing to have, because it means that with Game Pass, obviously, they're not always going to be there, or like eventually Game Pass just might never exist or something, which isn't a bad thing, because it means that essentially you've got a trial of that game, and once
I guess
if you enjoy it, then you can start hunting for the physical, and if you don't, then it saves your money, doesn't it?
Look at it that way, and you can just pick and choose the games that you really value, I guess.
Yeah. Which kind of, in a sense, makes, I think, Game Pass seem like something which I think, obviously, with every Xbox, it should be something which you want to at least have on there.
Everyone has got Xbox shit, okay.
So it's definitely one that I think, if you're a fan of Left 4 Dead, or if you're just a fan of zombie shooters, it's one to download. I think it's got a decent download size. Obviously not as big as some other games like Call of Duty and stuff, which is absolutely something else. But it is definitely a game which I think everyone who's got an Xbox should at least give a go. It's one of those things where if you've got a group of like 4 friends who would love to play it, it's also one of them things where you can all choose your character and they decide and everything. And I also like the fact that they've added a few features from like what Left 4 Dead didn't. So like, but obviously there is stuff that they've took out. Like there's, I think, a larger like variation of guns and stuff. Like there's more assault rifles, more shotguns and stuff. But you can actually add attachments onto them now. Because in Left 4 Dead you could never aim down sight, so it never really mattered about sight, but now you can. But there is also the thing that you can't dual wield your pistols, which, yes, it's a little bit of a downside, but for a game which has so many positives, I think it's one of them things that you can just overlook. And then you've also got the fan returns of like the melee weapons and everything. So, but no, it's an absolutely brilliant game.
But that's everything that we've played this month.
Yes, it is. Quite a vast variety of games.
I think we've had quite a good month between pickups that were made, especially at Northwich Retro Den, and the games that we played. I think we've done okay this month. I think we've had a good game in a
I'm
month.
actually really surprised that I've managed to complete 3 different games in a singular month, to be honest with you.
I'm quite surprised that you've managed to complete 3 games in a calendar year.
Well, I think I do that anyways, but to do it in a month is definitely something which I'm proud to have been able to do, especially games which aren't like really, really short, and again, that also could be classed as one of them, but with the amount of continues and stuff that I use, I think it's still a game which can last as long as some of the shorter games which are released now, so that's classed as a full-fledged one.
So that's what's happened. We now move on to what's
Going to happen.
going to happen. And as we always do every month, we're going to pick a game for each other.
Yeah.
Who do you want to go first?
What have you chosen for me then?
I've chosen you a game you are going to absolutely adore. An awesome game that you're going to, you probably get absolutely, what's the word I'm looking for? You'll be
Is it frustrated or love it?
absolutely love it.
Right.
You will love this game. It is brilliant. It is on the GameCube. We got this at Northwich Retro Den.
Yes, we did.
This is Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike.
Mm-hmm.
You will love this game.
I hope I love the game, and I hope that I get used to the GameCube controller quite quickly, to be honest, because it's been ages since I've played it with one.
And you'll get used to it. You will get used to it. GameCube controller, I think anyone who's watching who's got a GameCube will know that it's one of the greatest controllers of all time.
It definitely is.
I do hate the big green button, but
I just think that
Yeah.
with the amount of buttons that are on just the face itself, it can be like hard to remember.
it doesn't
sometimes.
have any more buttons than a standard controller. It just they're in different proportions.
Yeah, and different
That's-
placements.
That's what I'm saying. The big green button I don't particularly like, but yeah, you know,
I'm sure I'll get used to
You
it
want
very,
to-
very
if
quickly.
you want to play these great games, you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's
So
one of
that's
those
what you've
things.
got.
Well, for you, I've chosen a game which I believe you started to play, but I don't believe you ever finished it, which is why for you I've chosen a PS3 game, being South Park: The Stick of Truth. Now,
Actually, I don't think I ever did finish it.
no, but you did
I
at
got
least
quite-
start it.
I got quite a way into it.
And I remember you were so excited when you finally seen it at a price that you liked, because it was a game that you really, really wanted to play through, but you never finished it,
No,
at least in my knowledge.
I think I just got distracted with
Too many shiny things coming out.
new shiny things. But yeah, I would absolutely give that a go.
At least you'll be able to hopefully carry on and finish it.
Yeah, hopefully. No, I'm quite happy with that. Do love an RPG. And I love South Park. Perfect
I
combination.
don't think it's going to be an ordinary RPG though compared to the likes of Final Fantasy. So there you go.
It's definitely not a Final Fantasy.
But
But that's it for this
yes,
month.
that is definitely it for this month.
So, if you haven't already,
Give us a like, a share, and subscribe, and turn the notification bell so you get notified on when we upload. And we will see you in the next video.